Welcome to Madabo Mochabi channel. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe before you leave. Unique glass love coasters. Glass love coaster wedding favors are so popular that number one would call them unique. Variations, however, may be unique where you live. Here are examples of glass love coasters we found online. 1. Amer glass coasters. In Roman mythology, Amer was the god of love. You might say he was Cupid. These wedding favor coasters use the 4 letters of his name in the quadrants of the square glass coasters. The quadrants alternate between clear and frosted glass. These wedding favors come 4 in a box. 2. Asian love glass coasters. These unique wedding favors announce your love in several languages. Framed by clear lines around the frosted squares, an Asian calligraphic character for love is subtitled in English with the word love in script. This wedding favor comes 2 to a box. 3. Heart glass coasters. These coasters are clear, heart-shaped pieces of glass, each etched in beautiful fonts with words of love, joy, bliss, hope, faith, honor, forever and love itself. Each wedding favor contains a set of 2 coasters. If guests come as a couple each receiving a wedding favor, they go home with a set of 4. These are great for occasions other than weddings. 4. Cherry blossom love coasters. These glass love coasters feature beautiful pink cherry blossoms on frosted glass with the word love inscribed beneath. The use of a heart for the letter O makes these wedding favors a mix of sassy style with classic elegance. Tempered glass coasters are packaged 4 to a box. A couple receiving a wedding favor each will go home with 8 glass coasters, a practical reminder of your love. Photo glass love coasters. A more personal touch for a wedding. Glass love coasters sometimes feature a photo of love. Heart design glass photo coasters begin like other love coasters. The tempered glass square is divided into 4 quadrants. On these wedding favors, however, the quadrants alternate between black and ivory. Each quadrant bears a free-form heart in the opposite color. The center of the coaster holds a card or photo. Present these wedding favors with place cards or notes in the center and send photos later of the bride and groom. You might also insert a casual pre-wedding photo or simply a card with the couple's names and wedding date. These wedding favors are packed 2 to a box. Capture My Heart photo coasters are romantic heart-shaped glass love coasters. They feature a frosted glass rim with a photo frame center. Insert photos or cards and create an instant memento of your wedding. These wedding favors come in boxes of 2 hearts. Finally, plain glass photo coasters come in a variety of sizes and styles. Insert a photo or message of your love and they become glass love coasters. They make beautiful wedding favors. Helpful tip. At any wedding, glass love coasters are certain to be a fitting wedding favor. Before you present them, however, be careful to check for breakage. You don't want guests receiving broken wedding favors. Wedding favor guide. What you need to know about wedding favors. When guests are invited to a wedding, they usually leave with what is called a wedding favor. These are traditionally sugar-coated almonds in little net bags with a ribbon tied around them. But these days people are being more unique and creative and starting out with their own design and logo for the wedding favors. Many people theme their wedding and they usually match the theme of the wedding to the wedding favors. For example, if you have a Christmas wedding, then your favors could be little snowmen wrapped up as Christmas presents. Many people are avoiding the traditional almond favors and turning to something a little bit more creative. I have read stories from people who have used long stem silk roses as their favors with their wedding details attached by ribbon. People have used watering cans with tea light candles inside them. Couple have bought champagne flutes and had their wedding message inscribed for each guest to take home, and others use picture frames with wedding pictures or details inside of them. The traditional favor is no longer favored. You can purchase your own wedding favors from specialized shops or over the internet. The internet deals greatly in wedding favors and there is something for everyone, or you can make your own favors and be somewhat creative as to what they'll be. The internet provides vast resources for purchasing your wedding favors online. It's cheaper buying on the internet than it's buying in the shops. Wedding favors are everyone's memory of the couple's special day, and most favors are inscribed or printed with details about the wedding, the date, who was married, where they were married and what your part in the wedding was. They're unique gifts that you only get once, so why not try and spice them up a little bit and use some imagination. Wedding favors are unique to any wedding, so make yours unique, beautiful and creative by designing and printing your own wedding favors. It will be cheaper and a lot more fun. Wedding favors guide. How to choose fabulous wedding favors. Wedding favors are one of the important things of a successful wedding ceremony. These are generally given to every guest just to say thank you for being a part of wedding. Wedding favor has become a necessary part of wedding planning, ceremonies and receptions. It's now as important as bride's dress. Wedding favors are of many kinds like beach wedding favors, garden wedding favors, daisy wedding favors and Asian wedding favors. Sometimes people prefer seasonal wedding favors such as fall wedding favors, winter wedding favors, holiday wedding favors, spring and summer wedding favors. These favors may include personalized pens, trinket boxes, goblets, candles, vases and personalized wedding cameras also. Both bride and groom have to make a list of favors that depends on certain things like wedding theme, wedding location, wedding colors, number of expected guests, important members of wedding ceremony and required favor items. With this method you can easily perform entire process of giving favors. Budget is the major factor throughout the wedding party. You can also make wedding favors yourself to say special thanks to someone special. It will also reduce party favor costs. Wedding favors should be nice because these are memorable mementos of the occasion. You can give these gifts to all individually as well as a favor per couple. People should always buy inexpensive and affordable favors. Try to give a useful wedding favor to your nears and dears. Favors like coffee mugs, key rings and photo frames etc. are some functional items to give that wedding favor which can be used in routine. You can search for wedding favor vendors online because they usually offer some discount on every purchase. You can add several options like handwritten tags, bubble bands and flower ties to give personal touch to your wedding favor. You can show special care to the guests by making personalized seating cards that include guest's name and table number. The wedding gifts can be bath products, aromatherapy, makeup, jewelry, pictures and frames, candles and heirlooms for women. Always keep in mind that wedding favors reflects your style, sophistication, personal taste and likings. Try to choose wedding favors that are suitable for all guests. There's a large range of popular and classic wedding favors from which you can choose the best and reasonable. Here are some better ideas for you if you are on tight budget. You can buy some fortune cookies, deck of cards, seashells bookmarks, message in bottle, personalized key rings, gourmet coffee packs, mini liquors, flower seed packages and photograph card CD. Better option to choose wedding favors is internet because with a few mouse clicks you can find several wholesale wedding supply companies. Wedding dress cleaning tips. You should aim to dry clean your dress as soon as you can after your wedding. This helps avoid the danger of untreated stains becoming oxidized and increases the likelihood of successful cleaning. Always have the dress dry cleaned prior to storage even if the dress looks clean. Stains such as perspiration and drink stains can evaporate but over time begin to affect the fabric. On the day avoid rubbing stains. If you spill something on your dress, blot it gently. Rubbing can damage the fabric permanently. As far as stain removal goes, give the dry cleaner the first chance to remove the stains. Experience is the most important factor in the successful cleaning of your dress. Find a reputable dry cleaner. Ask to see the dress before it's packed. Even if the cleaning results are not perfect, it's best for you to inspect your dress after it's been cleaned. Then you can discuss the possibility of further treatment. No dry cleaner can be 100% successful 100% of the time. Any dry cleaner who offers you cleaning guarantees over the phone should be a magician, not a technician. However, experience and the latest techniques can help deliver the best results. Find a dry cleaner before the event in case disaster strikes on the day. You can have the dress attended to quickly. Also, in the event that you are going away for a long honeymoon, you can send a friend relative in with your dress. Labels are important to the professional dry cleaner. If you remove them, keep them so you can supply the dry cleaner with the necessary information. Trimmings and beads. Often wedding dressmakers will embellish dresses with additional items. This may cause a number of problems for the dry cleaner. Some beads are not suitable for dry cleaning and may melt, dissolve during cleaning. A reputable dry cleaner will test before cleaning. Other items such as glitter can be glued on. Often the glue will dissolve during dry cleaning, removing the adornments. One way to minimize these problems is to speak to the wedding dressmaker before cleaning and confirm the care instructions for the dress. You've had your dress cleaned, now what? Storage. Don't leave your dress in the plastic from the dry cleaners. Over time, plastic can give off chemicals which discolor fabrics. Remove the safety pins. Over time, they can oxidize and mark the dress with rust marks. If you are having your dress boxed, make sure it's being packed in acid-free tissue paper. This helps prevent yellowing of the dress. Remember that even with proper care, it may be impossible to prevent all yellowing over time. Check the dress periodically while in storage in case the dress is deteriorating through inappropriate storage. It's good to refold the dress to prevent permanent creases. Don't use plastic storage boxes. While these are great for seasonal storage, they're not suited to long-term storage. If any moisture develops inside the box, the fabric can develop mildew. It's important that the textile can breathe. If so, the humidity around the dress remains constant and the likelihood mold mildew is reduced. Ideally, the dress should not be stored in an area which is prone to high humidity like your attic or damp, like your basement. Fluctuating temperatures increase the risk of deterioration. Often a wardrobe or under the bed is the best place. If the dress is not boxed, make sure it's stored away from sunlight and artificial light. In the long term, they can cause degradation and fading of the fabric. Wedding dresses and their importance. A wedding is a solemn occasion. It's also a special event by which two willing hearts and minds unite by an eternal bond of everlasting love. Hence, the apparel of the bride and the groom should be thoughtfully chosen to reflect the significance of the grand occasion. The wedding dress of the bride comes in bright, auspicious colors styled uniquely in conformance with the ceremonial importance as determined by the culture and religion, which sanctifies the marriage. Features of a wedding dress. Wedding dresses come in various colors, forms and styles corresponding to the many cultures and fashions from which they hail. Wedding dresses are characterized by their exquisite grace and charm. Though the term wedding dress usually refers to the bridal gown worn by Western, European brides, all the various kinds of dresses worn by brides worldwide come within the ambit of wedding dress. Wedding dresses vary with regions, customs, cultures and religions. The Oriental, the Indian, the Middle East, the African, the Mediterranean and the American, all have their respective typical wedding dress codes. Whatever may be the type of wedding dress of the bride, a bridal gown, a sari, a kimono, a salwar kameez with wedding veil, it's created to spell elegance and hold the audience and especially the bridegroom spellbound. Wedding dresses are secured from the highly skilled artisans who use the best fabrics and the most intricate embellishments, elaborate patterns and designs to create the choicest dresses of the respective culture. The exquisite wedding dresses thus made serve as a reflection of the culture concerned too. Considerations in selecting the appropriate wedding dress. In marriages, the appearance of the bride and the groom is of prime importance. The wedding dress or the bridal attire requires special mention in this regard, since the bride is the cynosure of all eyes at the wedding and therefore her attire commands utmost attention. The wedding dress should be selected with due care with respect to the following considerations. 1. Checking bridal magazines to get a better idea of what fashions are in vogue. 2. Seeking opinions from select friends on the dress selection and trying to view choices made from their perspective. 3. Thinking over the kind of party to be hosted and the prevailing mood, formal or casual. 4. Budgetary constraints set up regarding purchase of dress. Wedding bouquet. How to make the right choice. Choosing your wedding bouquet is an important part of the planning process, as bouquets of flowers have always been a big attraction at any wedding. Bouquets are already part of the wedding tradition on all races. A bouquet of flowers symbolizes a blossoming maiden and reflects her emotions. Therefore, wedding bouquets should be carefully selected and planned the same way you plan for your wedding gown. Here are just a few tips in choosing your wedding bouquet. 1. It's recommended that you choose a flower that is on season to save money and time. This will not give you hard time trying to order the flower as well. 2. You can choose other alternatives like silk flowers, especially if the flower you would like to use is not in season. Silk flowers are also suited in formal weddings. Fresh-picked flowers may not fit a very formal party. 3. Your bouquet should not drown you. Be sure that it will not cover your figure. If you're petite, the weight of the flower might be too heavy for your build and may affect your posture and how you carry your gown. Remember that your bouquet should not be too big so as not to cover your elegant gown and should be easy to carry. 4. The flowers you chose should last for the entire day. Make sure that your flowers still hold up even at the end of the day so that you will still look glamorous when taken pictures. Using a bouquet holder is suggested to keep the flowers fresh during the entire day. Also take the advice of your florist on which flowers easily wilt so that you can avoid choosing them. 5. Don't let your florist imagine the flower design you like. You may take a picture or a printed copy of the bouquet style you prefer. Also bring a sample fabric of the gowns so that the florist can choose the correct shade of flower that will match the color of the gowns. Some bouquets may be decorated with ribbons, lace and silk materials. You can advise the florist on what specific designs would you like to add for your flowers. 6. Why not choose a flower that has special meaning? That will not be difficult since most flowers have their meanings. Stephanotis stands for happiness in marriage, rose means love and being true, and tulips stand for perfect love and declaration of love. 7. One of the first things to consider when opting for a bouquet is the style. Choose the bouquet style that will suit you and your personality. Bouquets are more personal nowadays and reflect the bride's personalities. 4 nosegays where flowers are clustered in a round form can vary in sophistication and will fit any personality. In cascade bouquets, flowers are arranged in a descending form. These bouquets are voluptuous and can be the center of attention. They're recommended for traditional weddings. There are flowers where stems are wrapped around in ribbons and they are called hand-tied bouquets. These bouquets bring a casual aura and are recommended for garden weddings. There are also contemporary bouquets where flowers are arranged in style but with no geometric form. These arrangements of flowers represent the individuality of a bride and are mostly used in sophisticated weddings. 8. The top wedding flowers are rose, lily, orchid, hyacinth, tulip, stephanotis and daisy. You may want to follow the trend and choose these flowers for your bouquet. Wedding bouquet on a mission. Keeping up with tradition, flower bouquets, the buttonhole and centerpieces will always be one of the star attractions at weddings. Flower posy bouquets denote a blossoming maiden, which evidently helps reflect her feelings and emotions. The planning of the wedding bouquet takes just as much careful thought behind getting it right for on the day as that of the wedding gown. Whatever race, religion, bouquets will still always be seen as a tradition to be kept. The more of nature's natural beauties lining church pews aisles will send out a lingering aromatic fragrance and a vast amount of color to brighten up your day. What to take into consideration when choosing your wedding bouquet? 1. By choosing seasonal flowers, you'll save time and money. If you insist on blooms out of season, then you may find they have to be shipped in from another country. Time is important when you order and receive the flowers. You'll want them fresh, therefore a stronger sweet-smelling scent. 2. If you've silk flowers in mind, then better still, this way you are guaranteed your particular favorite flower no matter the time of year, so no need to put the wedding on hold. 3. Don't make the mistake of letting the bouquet outshine or cover your figure if you are of petite frame. The reason being is your posture may be affected, thus giving off the wrong image of how your wedding gown should look. If the elegant style of the gown is to stay, then make sure to choose pastels instead of strong vibrant colors. Depending on the wedding outfit, of course. 4. Make sure that your flowers still hold up for late afternoon photo shoots should your wedding service take place in the morning. A preferred method by brides to keep the flowers fresh while not posing in front of a camera or piling on the pounds at the wedding feast. Who cares now you got your man? Only joking. Is to have a bouquet holder close at hand. Ask the florist for advice on which flowers wilt more quickly than others. By having this information under your garter, you'll at least know the ones to avoid. 5. On your first visit to the flower shop, don't let the florist conjure up what they think you've in mind. They're not mind readers. It's only you at this point knows what you are looking for. Make it easy on both yourself and the florist by taking a photo of the style and design of the bouquet. Another good idea is to bring along a sample piece of gown fabric so that the wedding coordinator, florist, can select the correct shade of flower to complement the wedding dress. Additional touches to bouquets include ribbons, lace, beads, or pearls. 6. Say it with flowers and mean it. Why not choose a flower that has special meaning? Take the stephanotis, which stands for happiness in marriage. Then we have the rose denoting love and being true. Another fabulous flower is the tulip with a meaning declaring perfect love. Why not have them all if your betrothed means that much to you? 7. Bouquets are becoming more personalized these days, so design yours to suit your personality. Everyone else's, so why not you? Clusters of flowers, more widely known as nosegays, can vary in sophistication and will fit any personality. Beauty prevails in the flower cascading bouquet, which is seen a lot at traditional weddings. Flowers where the stems are wrapped in ribbons are called hand-tied bouquets. It is these bouquets that bring a casual aura more often to garden ceremonies. We also have the contemporary bouquet, where flowers are arranged tastefully in a style with no geometric form but still as gorgeous as any other handheld bridal piece, normally used in sophisticated weddings. 8. If your choice is roses, lilies, orchids, tulips, stephanotis, or daisies for your bridal bouquet, then you've just picked the top flowers that have dominated many a wedding in the past and in the future to come. Wedding boutonnieres tips for achieving the ultimate finishing touch. Boutonnieres are the ultimate finishing touch to a gentleman's outfit and provide a sense of style. Here are some tips on how to make sure that the guys in your wedding party look fantastic. Types of flower. Roses are the most popular flower for a boutonniere, but don't feel that you've to follow tradition. Other flowers that work well include stephanotis, tulips, and orchids. If you are on a budget, carnations are a good choice. Choosing your boutonnieres. The color of your boutonnieres can be chosen to either contrast or complement the color of the groom's outfit. For instance, a black morning suit with a burgundy cravat could be complemented by a burgundy boutonniere made from a tulip, calla lily, or rose. Alternatively, you could arrange 4 boutonnieres to be made that mirror the flowers in the bride's bouquet. Who should have boutonnieres? It's common for the bridegroom, best man, ushers, groomsmen, and fathers of the bride and bridegroom to all have boutonnieres. Some couples also like to make boutonnieres available to all who attend the wedding ceremony, but this will be dependent on your budget. To mark him out as special, the bridegroom often has a slightly different boutonniere to the rest of the wedding party. It may be a different color, or the florist may put elaborate embellishments on it, such as decorative beads, diamanti, or additional blooms. How to wear your boutonnieres. The boutonniere is worn on the gentleman's left lapel. It should be worn on the outside of the buttonhole and not in it. It's common to secure it in place by using a pearl-headed pin from the back of the lapel. This can be done in such a way that the pin will then be invisible from the front. Weddings are generally focused on how special the bride looks. Boutonnieres are an inexpensive way to ensure that the groom looks and feels special too. Water pollution problems. A real issue. Water pollution has always been a major problem to the environment. With industrialization in major areas and urban cities growing, the water around them just keeps getting polluted. The sad part about the whole ordeal is that water pollution can be prevented in a lot of cases. A lot of water pollution is caused by factories near rivers and lakes doing illegal dumping. This hurts wildlife because the pollution will flow down the river, hurting plants and animals. In some cases, it can be fatal. Another big form of water pollution comes from fishermen and yacht owners. People who are just out to enjoy the sun will throw their waste overboard or have a leaky engine. A lot of them don't care because it doesn't usually directly affect how their day is going to turn out. The nice thing is that if your boat is caught illegally dumping or not meeting basic standards, you can be forced to pay a large fine. By putting laws such as these into effect, water pollution has decreased some. However, it still isn't anywhere near what it needs to be. There have also been rules and regulations given to transport lines, especially concerning fuel tankers. When a fuel tanker ends up sinking, it releases 1,000s upon 1,000s of gallons of fuel into the ocean. This fuel gets all over marine life and can cause serious damage to beaches and coral. Another type of water pollution comes from farmers. When they spray their fields, the fertilizer and insecticides can soak into the ground and get caught in a water system or river. This will then in turn hurt plant and animal life because the waterways are being poisoned. If you think water pollution doesn't affect you, then you are wrong. The pollution ends up hurting nature and poisoning fish that we may eat. On a more direct approach, it can even pollute drinking water. With so many bad side effects of water pollution, it's a wonder that there isn't more being done to prevent it. The general public needs to learn more information about it so that they can learn to fight it and keep the waters clean. Wedding bells. So you have found your soul mate. You are head over heels in love and the time has come. You are getting married. It's a time of excitement, joy and new beginnings. It can also be a time of pain, sorrow and misery if not planned correctly. One of the most important details of the wedding a couple needs to decide on is the actual date of the event. This is usually the detail that is taken care of first. Factors in choosing a date include the availability of the venue where the wedding will take place as well as availability of friends and family on the assigned date. It's also advisable to set a budget even before a couple starts to make plans. This way they are able to organize the details according to a budget they can afford. For couples who are about to get married, it's important to talk about the size of wedding they both have in mind. The dream wedding of one person might not be that of the other. So it is necessary for couples to discuss details regarding the arrangements for the wedding, such as the location of the venue reception, the number of people who get invited to the wedding reception, food and the choice of entertainment if any. It's important to reach an agreement pertaining to the guest list and the entourage. Whether you want to keep the wedding an intimate affair, in which case the bride and groom will just invite their family and friends. Maybe you want to make this affair into the wedding of the century, in which case the bride and groom get to invite the whole neighborhood, long-lost relatives, high school buddies, etc., in addition to their family and friends. When making the guest list, consider the capacity of your chosen venue. And back to point number 1, keep the budget in mind. So you've decided on the size of your wedding and where you are going to have it next. Order wedding invitations. If you want to get creative, you can always print your own invites. This way you can customize them and add a more personal touch to the invitation. The bride will want to start looking for a wedding gown months before the wedding. This way, the bride has plenty of time to make a selection. The groom should make arrangement to rent or buy a tuxedo, preferably in advance also. Just in case you encounter some trouble with the fitting, you'll have time to make other arrangements. You really want to hire a professional photographer to capture this momentous occasion. Sure, you friends can take good pictures and most of them own a camcorder, but for this occasion, you would want something special, lasting and visually presentable to remember your wedding. This allows you to share your special memories with your family and friends. What about the cake? It's best to have a tasting before settling on a bakery. Ask the bakery to prepare some cupcakes using the same recipe as the wedding cake. Invite your family and friends for the cake tasting. This way, the task becomes fun for everyone. Does all this sound like a lot? It's if you find the preparations that go into a wedding too overwhelming, you can always just hire a wedding planner. This way, everything gets organized and coordinated for you. How do you find a good wedding planner? That's another article. Victorian weddings. The ceremony of marriage is normally governed by the religious formularies of the church to which the bride may belong, which chooses the clergyman for its performance. The bride has usually 2 bridesmaids and the groom the same number of groomsmen. This number is not set in stone and it may be increased. The proper Victorian marriage is customarily performed at 12 o'clock in the day, at the church, which is first entered by the bride resting on the arm of her father, uncle, or the person is to give her away. Next comes the groom with the mother or closest female relative. The groomsmen and bridesmaids arm in arm follow them. The immediate relatives complete the procession to the altar, where the bride and groom take their places in advance with the parents closely behind and the rest gathered in a group about them. The groom is responsible for providing the wedding ring and have it in readiness at the proper moment when called upon to place it on the bride's ring finger. The ring is placed on the 3rd finger from but not counting the thumb of the left hand. After the wedding ceremony is complete, the question sometimes arises whether the bride is to be kissed by the groom. Traditionally, the kiss is considered improper behavior, but it's of course common practice today. Finally, all their friends and family in the church congratulate the bride and groom. Elderly relatives may kiss the bride in congratulation. Queen Victoria herself was kissed by the Duke of Sussex, but not by Prince Albert. The married couple then return to the bride's house together, taking precedence of all, and on arrival, assume a standing position at one end of the reception room and await the coming of the invited guests, who as they enter are conducted by the groomsmen to offer their congratulations. The usual breakfast or lunch closes the ceremony. Weather changes can determine what color the sky will be. The ageless, timeless, complicated and forever ongoing interaction between the Earth's atmosphere and the sun's heat results in the weather. The awesome, amazing colors that we see in the sky are produced storms and ever-changing weather systems, as the atmosphere is without color on its own. Then how does this astounding display of color come about? Air molecules and dust particles that are present in our atmosphere collide with the light waves 4 meters the sun and scatter in various directions as it enters our atmosphere. The waves that have shorter wavelengths like violet and blue waves get more effectively scattered than the orange and red waves having longer wavelengths. As a result, varying mixtures of green, violet and blue waves along with small quantity of other colors scattered across the vast expanse of the sky. The blue that we see as our sky is formed due a combination of this mixture. But the exact shade varies depending on how the amount of dust particles and water vapor are present in that portion of the air. The shape of blue will get paler as the amount of particles and droplets increase in the air. All the colors of the spectrum get scattered by the water droplets that make up the clouds and thus making the clouds appear white. Meaning reconstitution occurs to the white light originally emitted by the sun. But the clouds appear gray or black if they're thick, thus preventing light from passing through. During sunsets and sunrises, the sky changes color frequently. The phenomena happens due to the scattering of orange and red waves that gets though because as the sun is at a lower position in the sky during these times, the light gets to travel further into the Earth's atmosphere. The orange and red hue gets more enhanced due to the presence of ash dust and pollution in the atmosphere. Weather watcher who are beginners. An intriguing array of changes in weather pattern is created by Earth's atmosphere. Constant changes in weather in various parts of the world challenge our lifestyle as we adjust to it. For weather forecasting, professional level quality instruments have been introduction for the use of enthusiasts and amateurs in recent times. Contribute collected data by setting up your own weather station at home to the internet, and local professional forecasters is possible now because of these instruments. Making distinction between high-level, middle-level and low-level clouds is a good thing to learn. An increase in the high and mid-level clouds generally indicates the approach of frontal systems. Snow and rain is always a probability if low-level clouds follow these clouds. A small chance of precipitation if there is fair weather accompanied by cumulus clouds that's indicative of stable atmosphere. Although you might be in for heavy rain, gusty winds and can even experience a hailstorm if you observe explosive and rapidly developing cumulus clouds. Weather can be forecasted by keeping a close watch on the barometric pressure and the direction of wind's movement 4 meters the southwest, and falling pressure on the barometer are often indicators of frontal systems in the northern hemisphere. You can improve the accuracy of your forecasting by maintaining logs of actual weather events alongside your predictions and observations. You'll learn the correct local conditions with the help of these logs. Wedding cake. How to pick the best one. Wedding cakes have become an essential decoration in the wedding venue. The first thing guests would buzz about is how magnificent your wedding cake is. Choosing the right cake should be meticulously done. With a little patience and the quick tips below, picking the best cake should as easy as walking down the aisle. Choose the right bake shop. If you've an idea on where the best bakery is in your city, then head to that place immediately. You can ask suggestions from your friends or family members also. Get a reservation at once. Don't procrastinate. The availability of cake decorators might be restricted. Be sure to drop by the bake shop to talk about the designs, flavors and other things you wanted to add to your cake. Be sure to give a detailed description of exactly what you want your cake to be. Give the vendor ample time to prepare, approximately 6 months ahead of your big day would do. You may need to pay a deposit fee for reservation. The right taste aside 4 meters the look of the cake. Keep in mind that cakes are made primarily for eating. They should taste good as well as they look good. The texture and flavor of the cake itself is important. When scouting for a bake shop, don't hesitate to ask for cake samples of the flavors you want. If they don't allow this, jump to the next store. Check on your budget. Wedding cakes ranges from $300 to $1,000 or so. Cost primarily depends on the cake design you want. You to pay for the cake decorator's fee on top of the cost of the cake itself. Know what your budget is ahead of time. Some shops may give you free delivery too. Most bake shop has a standard number of servings for each cake type. Know how many guests would attend your wedding so you would know more or less how much money you would allocate for the cake. Flowers as decorations. Flowers have been a traditional thing on weddings. You can well put them in cakes too. You can either choose from fresh flowers or artificial ones. Fresh flowers are a beautiful addition to your cakes. But it is very important that you choose fresh flowers wisely. Be sure that they are free from chemicals. Just to be on the safe side, sugar flowers are safer. There are edible gum paste decorations that have wire or toothpicks on them. Where to place the cake. Most cakes, especially on summer, might end up melted under the heat of the sun. They can also cause flowers and flavored curls to dry up. Not to mention the possibility of flies gathering on your priced cake. Just be sure always have a backup site where you can store your cakes to preserve its look and taste. Never place your wedding cake near the dance floor or where there is a heavy flow of traffic. You might just see your cake fall down. That's not a good sight at all. Be sure to check the sturdiness of the table you would place your cake. Buying wedding cakes can be fun and hassle-free. Remember that your wedding cakes needs to be presentable. Most of the photo ops are done beside the cake. It's always nice to give out that bright smile beside you, a well-decorated cake that brings out your personal statement. Wedding and bridal shower favors from wooden spoons. Both wedding favors from wooden spoons and bridal shower favors from wooden spoons offer a variety of possibilities. Wedding favors from wooden spoons. Wedding favors from wooden spoons is a reversal on the very old Scottish and Welsh tradition of giving the bride a wooden spoon. This tradition was based on the idea that the wooden spoon was the most useful utensil in the kitchen. Giving wooden spoons to the bride would help her cook for her new husband and later their family. Wedding favors from wooden spoons give the spoons to guests rather than to the new bride, sometimes using them to hold place cards. We offer 7 cheap ideas below. Bridal shower favors from wooden spoons. Bridal shower favors from wooden spoons are handled similarly. The wooden spoons are given to the guests instead of to the bride-to-be. Bridal shower favors from wooden spoons can be made quickly and cheaply. Try the 7 ideas below. Ideas for favors from wooden spoons. The price of conventional wooden spoons may quickly break your budget for bridal shower favors or wedding favors. You can get cheap wooden spoons at an online site offering craft supplies. Look for kitchen miniatures. We found 12 long spoons at less than 60 cents each. For smaller bridal shower favors or wedding favors, we also found 4.75 wooden spoons at less than 50 cents each one. Place a few pieces of candy in the bowl of the wooden spoon. Wrap the bowl portion with tulle to fit your wedding color scheme. Tie a satin ribbon bow just above the spoon's bowl. This makes good bridal shower favors or wedding favors. 2. For bridal shower favors or wedding favors, print out the new bride's favorite recipe on small cards. On the reverse side, print a line for guests' names. Beneath it, explain briefly the wooden spoon tradition. Punch 2 holes at the top of each card. Run a ribbon through the holes and tie the card to the handle of the wooden spoon. 3. Combine small wooden spoons with packets of coffee, loose tea, soup mix, or bath salts for unique wedding or bridal shower favors. Tie ribbon around the 2, add a tag, and you are done. 4. Purchase mini jars of jam or honey. Tie a small wooden spoon to the neck of the jar, with a place card for quick wedding or bridal shower favors. 5. Whimsical bridal shower favors or wedding favors can be made with small wooden spoons dressed as brides and grooms. Paint bride spoons white and glue a skirt of white tulle to the handle just below the bowl. On the bowl, glue tiny wiggle eyes, pom-pom noses and a small yarn mouth. Add a second bit of tulle to the bowl top for a veil. Tie a bow where the handle meets the bowl. Paint groom spoons black and proceed in the same way using black cloth in place of tulle to fashion a tux and hat. 6. Simple wedding and bridal shower favors from wooden spoons can be prepared quickly, beginning with the small size wooden spoons from craft supply stores. Print out pretty cards that say love without measure. Use the reverse side for place cards, if desired. Or print the bridal couple's names and the date on the reverse side. Tie the cards to the spoon necks with ribbon. 7. Bridal shower favors and wedding favors from wooden spoons can be patterned after Welsh lover spoons. Lover spoons can be purchased online, but only by those who have a large budget for favors. Create your own wedding of bridal shower favors from wooden spoons by purchasing a quantity of 4.75 wooden spoons. Purchase painted wooden cutouts, available in shapes of hearts, arrows, doves, etc. Glue the wooden cutouts securely to handle or bowl of wooden spoon. Tie with a ribbon and tag. Bridal party ideas. Bridal shower favors and wedding favors are not the only uses for the wooden spoon. Present each member of the bridal party as well as the mother of the bride and the mother of the groom with their own lucky wooden spoons. Use larger wooden spoons for these gifts than for bridal shower favors. Cover each spoon with satin in the color of the bride's gown. Glue braid with tiny pearls down the length of the handle. Glue lace around the edge of the spoon's bowl. Glue a loop of blue ribbon at the end of the handle so the spoon can be hung. For an even more memorable spoon, glue a tiny bride and groom or double wedding bells to the satin bowl of the spoon. Find them at craft supplies sites. Wedding accessory guide. Accessories are an important part of your wedding. Wedding accessories play an important part of any wedding. The bride must have her accessories to go with her wedding attire, and the groom also needs his. Not to mention the guests should keep one accessory in mind: a hat. Accessories add those finishing touches to every wedding that every couple are going for. Everyone wants to look individual on their big day. But although there is a wealth of accessories to choose from, the only real way to look individual is to create your own. As individual, one-of-a-kind fashion items are becoming sought after and higher priced. More and more people nowadays are starting to develop to make their own style. Creating your own wedding accessory gives your wedding that much more personal feel to it and makes you feel good when you walk down the aisle with your own unique accessory, and everyone gapes at how wonderful it is and asks where you bought it. Creating your own wedding accessories is also a lot cheaper than buying them. Jewelry is a favorite area for brides when it comes to putting together an outfit. With such a vast range of beautiful beads and wire available, it's so simple to make a pretty pair of earrings or some other trinket. For an elegant look, top to toe, you need to make sure that your hair looks as glamorous as the rest of you. A tiara will be that finishing touch. Every girl knows that the key accessory to finish off a look is your handbag. There is such a huge variety of bags available to buy that you can pick one up quite cheaply. So you can be sure that you can make yourself appear that much trendier with just a few accessories. So you don't need to go out spending a fortune on beaded white shoes. Just buy a plain pair and bead them yourself. You don't need to spend fortunes on a handbag, just buy a plain and decorate it yourself. See where I'm going with this? It's as simple as this. Accessories can be made cheaply and beautifully by you, and when you make them they are unique and personal. Why miss out of that? Wedding cake. Its importance to your wedding. Once the wedding is over, then the partying begins. It's your reception, and what happens there? You cut your cake. Many people order in cakes from large bakeries and wedding shops, but they can be made just as nice at home or from a local baker. Many couples have tiered wedding cakes, which usually consist of 3 tiers and a model bride and groom at the top. When choosing your wedding cake designer, you should give at least 6 months' notice. Not only does this give time for your fruit cakes to be matured, but good cake designers do get booked very quickly. Some take bookings a year or more in advance. Some people stick to the usual fruit cake, but others like to be a little bit more experimental and have maybe a flavored sponge, or even more daring than that, a carrot cake. The new trends in wedding cakes allow brides to have a cake that not only looks good, it tastes good too. Brides don't need to settle for the traditional white vanilla cake with the plastic bride and groom on top anymore. So go all out and get cheesecake or crumpets. All that matters is that it tastes and looks good. Wedding cakes are a special part of the wedding. This is where the bride and groom do their first real action together as a married couple. They pull together and cut a cake, although it doesn't seem much to the ordinary person, but its significance is highly relevant. The wedding cake is unique to all couples. They choose their own decoration style and taste. Usually most of the planning is left to the women when it comes to weddings, so the cake usually matches her tastes. Weddings are beautiful and wonderful places to be. They are full of happy thoughts and feelings. A wedding is a joyous time for family and friends to get together to celebrate the marriage of 2 people that they care for, so why not celebrate it with cake? We celebrate everything else with cake. Weddings, why the fuss? Can't be that difficult. We will begin by defining what a marriage is. It's the union of 2 souls, 2 hearts, 2 minds, 2 people and 1 love. It's a commitment that you make with your partner as long as you both shall live. A marriage should be both give and taken. In an ideal world, a marriage is made in heaven and solemnized on earth, and therefore should last forever. It should be a relationship from which you get everything you both want. Unfortunately, quite often it does not end up that way. A lot of the time this is due to inaction rather than actions. There are sources where you can get resources aimed at helping you in this endeavor from the outset. You have dreamed of your wedding for years. Come on, ladies, we know you have. Blokes, well, they won't admit that they have, even if they did. You can use your attitude and thinking to mold and manifest the life you want and see amazing improvements over time. Make no mistake, your life will end up the way you both decide. Whether that is consciously or not is entirely up to you. Marriage lasts forever. Understandably, there is major importance attached to the longevity of a marriage. A wedding, on the other hand, is only 1 or 2 days where you gather with loved ones to celebrate the decision to marry one another forever. It's probably not difficult to organize a bog-standard wedding, but come on, you or your partner didn't dream about that, did you? We're sure you wanted the best day ever, right? Well, don't be fooled then. A wedding is much more than just 1 or 2 days. You will need to be up to speed on everything that needs to be done up to 1 year in advance to make that day or two as special as you envisaged it to be in your dreams. As mentioned before, our aim is to help you with this by providing a detailed series of e-books that will help you step by step through the wedding process, which will ultimately aid you in ensuring you've a stress-free pre-wedding period, wedding day, and married life thereafter. Weddings and more weddings. Does it feel like you're constantly going to weddings? Lately, it seems like everyone I know has been getting married. I understand how hard it is to actually go through getting married. I've done it, but now I have to sit through wedding after wedding and come up with things to do so not to be bored. Try not to get lost in thought, but don't go without thought completely. The simplest answer if you are bored at a wedding is to just zone out. This actually works really well, but it definitely shouldn't be done all the time. You don't want your family or friends to know that you are bored, and this will be a dead giveaway. Though, that's not to say that you should never zone out. It's best used sparingly, during times when number one will notice. If you start to get restless in your seat, pull out your cell phone and say you've an important business call. This is an especially great escape device for getting out of having to talk to people you don't like. It will also enable you to stretch your legs while you walk around and look at paintings on the walls or explore the building you are in. Meditation is another great thing to do. This works well when you can't leave your seat. What you do is listen to all the sounds around you. This will include people talking, crying, laughing, sneezing, bells, etc. Listen to them as if you are listening to music until their meaning starts to disappear. It helps if you focus on your breathing. To breathe out, just let the air fall out of you naturally and don't force it. Do the same for inhaling. Let your body naturally start to inhale on its own. Eventually this will slow your breathing down and your body will become very relaxed. As long as you don't take it too far, you won't zone out. It helps if you realize why you're actually bored. Sometimes you are only bored simply because you are not paying attention. Try turning your attention towards whatever is going on in the ceremony and really listen. Pay attention to every single word that every person is saying. Listen really carefully and you'll develop a greater sense of awareness and will possibly become not bored anymore. Sometimes boredom comes out of hatred. Do you dislike the person whose wedding or event you are at? Think about why you dislike this person. Do you even remember why? Try to purge your hatred and think about all the things you like about them instead. By the end of the ceremony, I'm sure you'll feel a lot better and will feel much more comfortable when approaching them to congratulate them or shake their hand or give them a hug. So in the end, if you are really bored, there's probably a very good reason. If you are able to recognize why this is, and more importantly if you are able to correct it, I'm sure you'll turn your boredom into something else and you may even have a good time. Wedding bouquet. Its importance to your wedding day. When a man and a woman are to get married, the woman usually wears a long white dress and has her hair all done up fancy with a tiara and veil in it, and then there is the wedding bouquet. She usually holds a small bunch of flowers which match her wedding theme. If she is wearing a white dress, soft colors often accentuate her, not the flowers, but some stunning bouquets have been the most vivid of colors and are meant to attract the attention of the guests. The wedding bouquet is usually designed and prepared by the florist, although you do have some input on the design and colors. Many women choose lilies and roses as the main flowers in their bouquet. But I think that a little bit of greenery would go a long way when it comes to the bouquet. It just adds that extra bit to them. The flowers are arranged to make the bouquet small enough to be held in both hands and looks as if it is a bubble over the bride's hands. During the ceremony, the bouquet is passed over the maid of honor to hold and is then given back to the bride once the ceremony is over. After the entire ceremony, the bride and groom race out of the church, down the aisle and out the door. Once they are outside, all the women gang up together and basically fight for the bouquet, which is thrown by the bride. Legend says that if you are the woman who catches the bouquet of the bride, you are next to be married. So as you can tell, it's definitely a touch competition to get that bouquet with so many other women after it. There are hundreds of flowers plastered all over the church and the reception hall, but the bouquet held by the bride is always deemed the prettiest and most important. I've never yet seen a bride walk down the aisle without a bouquet of flowers that haven't been far short of perfect. The flowers just add to the innocence of the bride before she makes that long jump to commitment, and the flowers should be given respect. Wedding. Make a memorable ceremony. Wedding is a memorable ceremony of life, and everyone wants to make it a very special day to be remembered long life, the commitment made to each other. Wedding word, it brings in your mind a grand celebration. To make wedding a grand celebration, number of things to be considered to make a perfect wedding preparation. Let us start the wedding preparation from wedding gown. Wedding gown plays a very important role. Every bride wants to look special on her wedding. Choosing wedding dress can be very fantasy for you. The most stressful part of finding your bridal gown is to finding the good shop for bridal gown and trying it. Numbers of stores have the white tradition bridal gown. Your gown can be of any color and pattern. It will be according to your choice. Wedding hall. Wedding hall locations is very important factor in wedding ceremony. If you are planning for wedding in summer or in any vacation period, then it can be difficult for you to find the wedding hall according to your requirement. Wedding cake. Cutting wedding cake is one of the classic elements of wedding ceremony, where both bride and groom celebrate their happiness in the presence of family, friends and guests. Many cake shops prepare wedding cake according to your choice, like color, flavors, decor, flowers and many more. However, there is no limit when it comes to decorative wedding cake. Wedding DJ. Choosing wedding DJ can be quite a challenge. First, decide what type of music you want to play in your wedding ceremony. To get played your favorite wedding song in your wedding can ensure the success of the event. You'll need music for every movement: the interlude, prelude music, the processional, the recessional, the first dance, the last dance, mother-son dance, cake cutting, bouquet toss, dance music, and any other special songs that you wish to have played. Wedding reception. Wedding reception could not be a headache if you've done little planning and preparation. You'll have everything under control. You need to decide what menu to have in your wedding reception. Before you place an order, know how many people you'll be providing food. Wedding is a commitment to each other, the pride on the face of your family and friends. To make a memorable wedding ceremony, little planning and idea is required to work accordingly. You've planned. Walls Industries sporting goods, jackets and coats. You demand the best in every aspect of your life. You work and you'll work hard. You depend on your workwear to help you survive the day in one piece. You play and you play hard. Shouldn't you depend on your recreational apparel to help keep you safe and secure no matter what you happen to enjoy as your recreational pastimes? If you purchase sporting goods by Walls Industries, chances are good you are satisfied and content with the quality and service you are getting from your jackets and or coats used for recreational pastimes. You demand more and you will discover the exquisite more you receive when you trust Walls Industries sporting goods for your jackets or coats. What exactly can you expect when you purchase Walls Industries jackets or coats for your own? Camouflage. When you play hard hunting or fishing, camouflage is generally your first stop. You expect your camouflage to keep you hidden. In addition, you expect your camouflage to allow you to get close to your target without making noises or allowing scents to escape. These jackets and coats developed by Walls Industries sporting goods have been developed to keep you quiet, safe and hidden when you demand those qualities. The colors are also appropriate for your climate. In other words, you will find there are various styles and types of camouflage for varying climates. Deserts have a camouflage allowing you to blend in with a desert environment. Arctic regions have appropriate camouflage to keep you hidden in the whitest of climates. There are varying styles of camouflage for the environment and climate you prefer. Not sure which is right for you? Choose more than one. Hoods. Sometimes you may find that you need an additional hood or face mask. When you choose Walls Industries jackets or coats, you often get detachable hoods, perfect for removing when you don't need them and easily being reattached when needed. These are awesome. In addition, should you need to wear something extra, there is plenty of hood room for you to add accessories. The hoods are drawstring and Velcro closed, giving you the options you need. The quiet features mean you will not draw attention to you or your party with Velcro closures either. These hoods are detachable, meaning you can unzip to remove and then you'll have a whole new jacket. Cuffs. Having appropriate cuffs is important. The cuffs on your Walls Industries jackets or coats are ideal for keeping a protective layer between you and your environment. The cuffs also mean you are not having sleeves get in the way. The hem cuff is bunched, allowing you to stay warm and dry as well. The cuffs are made of elastic, meaning you can adjust to fit your sporting goods needs perfectly. No fuss, no muss. These cuffs, these hoods and the camouflage are just 3 parts of why more and more people trust the excellence offered by Walls Industries sporting goods. People wanting the best know where to turn. Each piece of recreational apparel is handled and developed like it was made for family yours. Wedding cake toppers. Important things to know. Wedding cake toppers have long been the traditional symbol of married couples, as they were symbolically placed above the wedding cake for everybody to see. Wedding cake toppers are available in a wide array of designs, colors and styles, wherein couples can choose whatever they think would best portray their marriage. So for those who want to know some tips regarding the right way to choose wedding cake toppers, here are some tips that you may use. 1. Never use wedding cake toppers that are made of plastics, especially the cheap ones. Even if you are tight on a budget, it's best not to choose wedding cake toppers that are made of plastics. Usually these are the ones that are readily available in the department stores. Wedding cake toppers should be as exceptional as your wedding cake. Therefore it's best to use wedding cake toppers that is out of ordinary and never before seen in any wedding. This may cost a little bit more than what you've intended to spend with, but would definitely convert your wedding cake into something wonderful, one that would definitely make your wedding truly a memorable event. 2. Be creative. It's best if the wedding along with your wedding cake and cake toppers are all personalized. This means that the designs and styles are creatively made by the couple. This will add more romance and glamour on the wedding itself. Best of all, don't be constrained with the traditional and classical designs of wedding cake toppers. You may deviate from the customs and have your very own wedding cake toppers. Today there are many contemporary designs that the couple may use. In fact, they can even have their own ideas. All they have to do is to ask their baker to make the concept and use it as their wedding cake topper. 3. For the budget-conscious couple, you can use your parents' wedding cake topper if it is still available. This will truly make your wedding cake very special because of the hand-down generation. The point is, whatever designs or styles of cake toppers you choose to have on your wedding cake, the fact that it symbolizes your marriage is already a special concept that no other item can replace. Wedding cake toppers are not just sheer embellishments in a cake, but more of an emblem, one that best represents the love that's flowing in the hearts of the couple. Wedding anniversary gifts by mail. Have you ever wondered how the tradition of giving wedding anniversary gifts began? It's said that the earliest wedding anniversary gifts were silver garlands given by Germanic husbands to their wives on the 25th anniversary. History also shows that some European countries celebrated half of that time, 12.5 years of marriage, with gifts of copper. Around 1875, wood seems to have come into vogue as a 5th wedding anniversary gift. Wedding anniversary gifts by mail were undoubtedly rare in those days. The postal service itself was unreliable. Couples who wanted to celebrate their marriage by giving one another gifts often had to choose between making gifts or purchasing at the general store. Times have changed dramatically, and we now can not only purchase wedding anniversary gifts by mail, we can order them electronically on the internet. My bump of curiosity stirred a desire today to see what was available. Here are the first 7 anniversary gifts I found. 7 ideas for wedding anniversary gifts by mail. 1. Paper. I began with the first wedding anniversary gift, wondering what ideas would fit the traditional paper gift idea. It was easy to find paper for a husband to give. A framed family tree with her name added. He might have to research and get information from his parents. A bride of 1 year would appreciate his thoughtfulness, and the renewed knowledge that she had been added to his family tree would be a wonderful wedding anniversary gift. He can order a family tree online at most of the genealogy websites. She could give him paper tickets to a sports event that he would love and go with him, even if she doesn't share his love for sports. Ticket wedding anniversary gifts are easily found at Ticketmaster. 2. Cotton. For the second wedding anniversary gift, cotton shirts or cotton sheets would be good choices. Order quality cotton shirts from Land's End and have them monogrammed. You can order quality sheets from there too. Either gift would be appropriate for one to give the other or sit down together and make out your order. All are gifts by mail. 3. Glass. One choice for the third wedding anniversary gift was glass, and I found unique, beautiful glass butterfly pendants at Solstice Glass. He could order these by mail and she would never know he had gone shopping. Each glass butterfly pendant is hand-blown and contains a beautiful, realistic butterfly perched atop a lovely flower. Solstice Glass has other shapes, too, of course, a good variety of handcrafted glass. A wife can shop at Solstice Glass too and make her husband's third wedding anniversary gift a hand-blown, one-of-a-kind glass marble. He can carry it with him daily as a reminder of her love. 4. Fruit, flowers, and silk. The traditional wedding anniversary gift for the fourth anniversary is listed as fruit and flowers. I knew immediately that I could order delicious fruit and beautiful flowers at a place like Gift Tree. Then I noticed that one of the modern choices for this anniversary is silk. You could combine the two and order a beautiful, quality silk fruit tree or silk flowers. They would last longer than real fruit or flowers. You can find silk pomegranate trees at USI Floral. Since pomegranates are often called the fruit of love and these trees are filled with the beautiful red fruit, he might order this wedding anniversary gift by mail. She might order him a silk Hawaiian shirt with flowers or fruit in the design. Hawaii Tropicals is one of many places online that will ship this wedding anniversary gift by mail. 5. Wood. Wood Cutting Boards is a good website to visit for fifth wedding anniversary gifts by mail. Either chef would appreciate the choice of cutting boards they offer. Their hardwood mugs are also beautiful for either husband or wife. If there's any doubt about the strength of the marriage, a new wooden rolling pin is not recommended. 6. Iron. Although sugar is also a traditional sixth wedding anniversary gift, you might want to think in terms of durable gifts rather than consumables. The two of you could choose a wrought iron love seat for your garden from Furniture Central. If you enjoy golf, give each other new iron sets. At Golfsmith you can order this wedding anniversary gift to be sent by mail. 7. Wool. Even if your wedding anniversary gift celebrates a summer wedding, you know that either one of you would enjoy a gift of wool from the New Zealand Nature Company. Wool pillows and comforters are cozy in the winter but cool in the summer. Wool slippers and boots are just as wonderful. They insulate you as they insulate the sheep. Order these wedding anniversary gifts by mail and you will have the joy of celebrating with gifts from a different hemisphere. You can of course go to your local mall and buy a gift. But when you order wedding anniversary gifts by mail, you can shop the entire world for the perfect gift. You can keep your shopping a secret and surprise the one you love. Wedding Budget Challenge. As you plan your wedding, the most important task you have is to set your wedding budget. Weddings are expensive events. The average cost of a wedding in the America is more than $20,000. The honeymoon is not calculated in the cost. Although $20,000 sounds like a lot of money for a one-day event, keep in mind that it's an average and many weddings cost significantly more. No wedding budget is ever too big. It's your budget, not your imagination, that sets the limits of what you can or can't do on your wedding day. Formal weddings in hotel ballrooms or other trendy wedding reception venues will require a much bigger budget than a reception held at your parents' house. Normally, formal weddings are more expensive because everything about them is expensive, such as the food, music, etc. The summer months are the most popular and most expensive months of the year to get married. Due to the high demand during the busy wedding season, hotels and other wedding reception venues can ask higher than usual prices. If you must have a summer wedding, expect to pay a premium. The more guests you invite to the wedding, the more money you and LL spend. You've to calculate your food budget based on a per head cost for food and liquor. The type of meal you serve your guest is limited by your budget. For instance, seated dinners are more expensive than a buffet-style dinners. Some locations are more expensive than others. Certain cities such as New York and Los Angeles can be expensive, but faraway places can be just as pricey due to high travel costs and the lack of competition. Don't worry if your wedding budget doesn't cover everything you can dream of. It may require compromises, scheduling changes, or simply begging for more money, but even with a small budget you can plan a beautiful wedding. Developing the wedding budget is challenging and the bride and groom should work on it together. If your parents are footing part of the expenses, you've to involve them in the process too. Traditionally, the bride's family covers most of the expenses. Today, such tradition is not necessarily relevant. The bride and groom normally pay for most of the weddings. Walls Industries ranch wear shirts, tops, and blouses. When it comes to your workwear, you demand better. Going to a thrift store is not an option. Getting a discounted price is grand, but you demand the best. You often utilize shirts, tops, or blouses, and Walls Industries ranch wear is often the first stop for those demanding more of their working apparel. You work hard and often you play just as hard. This means you need apparel that will go from the workplace to your playtime without a lot of fuss or muss. You'll discover that there are exceptional benefits when you purchase Walls Industries ranch wear. You will be able to quickly change from work to play mode because in reality, if you work and play at the same time, you will be living your dream. There are many Walls Industries ranch wear tops, blouses, and shirts for men, women, and children of all ages and body sizes. There are various colors and accessories to those tops that mean you are getting more. You can coordinate your colors together, and you will have the opportunity to be more. Take time for doing what you enjoy. Take time for family, friends, or riding your favorite horse. Enjoy the weekend and enjoy your life. No need to worry about your working clothing. What can you expect when you purchase Walls Industries ranch wear shirts, tops, or blouses? True comfort. Too often working apparel is drab, tight, baggy, or generally not allowing you to be comfortable in your day-to-day working environment. These offer total and complete comfort. You've extra space where you need it and you've appropriate support where you need that too. These tops have a button collar allowing for a professional look and feel. The two pockets offer even more comfort. True support. As you work hard, you depend on your working apparel to work just as hard as you do. This means you give your all and you expect your working apparel to give its all too. You need support. You need the support that is inherent when you've working apparel that exceeds your expectations. Of course, number one can deny the benefits of having support in each top you purchase. The added bonus of having extra support added into each design lets you work and play worry-free. True value. If you are looking for cheap prices, you'll not find that with Walls Industries ranch wear shirts, tops, or blouses. However, you'll find a good value with each purchase. These are an average price but not the cheap price many people seek. Yet if you are looking for cheap prices, you are probably not needing workwear but playwear. These are an exceptional value for those demanding more from their workwear. With Walls Industries ranch wear shirts, tops, and blouses, you simply get more for your money. You get true value, true support, and true comfort. In addition, you'll look good enough to head to work or head to your favorite rodeo. Your needs are not only met, they're far exceeded. Walking down the wedding aisle. Who walks who, anyway? Another dilemma that often comes up when planning a wedding is who will walk the bride down the aisle. Although traditionally it's the father that does this, the plethora of step families has made it a more difficult decision. This is especially true when the step parents have been in the children's lives for a long time. Breaking tradition. A bride that has both a stepfather and a biological father may opt still to have her biological father walk her down the aisle. This can be a way to show her family bond as well as stick with tradition. In the case of a bride that hasn't been close to her father, she may opt to have her stepfather walk her down the aisle. This is a newly emerging sight at weddings and quite touching. Of course, if the bride loves both of the men and wants to include them, there's nothing wrong with having both walk her down the aisle. It honors her relationship with both men and lets them have the chance to hold her arm. This also holds true for the groom. He can choose to escort both a stepmother and his biological mother down the aisle at the beginning if she should choose to. Or the best man can do so as is tradition. If the father has passed on, the bride may opt to have an older brother or an uncle walk her down the aisle. Likewise, if the mother of the groom has passed, then a sister or an aunt may want to walk with him. Dealing with difficulties. While this all seems like a loving and simple solution to include everyone in the wedding, some parents may still have issues with their ex-spouses. And this can lead to bitter feelings about your choice in who walks who down the aisle. Should you fight for what you want? That's entirely up to you. If walking with both fathers makes you happy, then you should do that even if the opposite wives are not pleased for whatever reason. If you feel that it may cause more trouble than it's worth, then you may opt to stick with tradition. Just be sure to include your stepfather in some other part of the wedding so he doesn't feel left out because of biological status. In the end, remember that it's your day and your decision. Urbane scrub pants, a separate pleasure. When it comes to finding workwear, you may think all workwear designers are the same. This is far from the truth. There are many reputable workwear designers offering superior quality, affordable prices and attractive designs. However, when you want the best of the best in a colorful collage of designs and choices, Urbane scrub pants may be the choice you need for superior quality and performance. What makes Urbane scrub pants so special? Well, there are few medical apparel designers offering this kind of look and feel while remaining professional and following common industry standards for safety and cleanliness. There are few professional as possibly dirty and messy as the medical and healthcare industry, and the medical apparel must be capable of keeping that potential spot or stain away to offer you more in a medical ensemble. When it comes to innovative fashions, nothing compares to Urbane scrub pants. These medical trousers are simply perfect for any professional but exceptionally excel at the medical and healthcare industry. These perfect essentials petite drawstring bootcut trousers are just amazing. Designed specifically with the petite person in mind, these bootcut medical trousers are perfect for any profession. The slender cut means you get a slender look to your physique, and the colorful styles are simply perfect for complementing any blouse, top or shirt. The drawstring waist equates to an easily wearable and removable pair of trousers. In addition, you will find you can really move because of the extra flexibility. The traditional cargo pants are simply wonderful and complement any medical wardrobe with perfection. These come in tall sizes, petite sizes and regular sizes to offer the same excellence to any man or woman of any height. The array of colors are brilliant and unique. This is why Urbane scrub pants have a reputation for being so innovative and modern while remaining traditional and classic. Of course, no talk of medical trousers would be complete without discussing these scrub contrast piping pants. These are genuinely unique and offer a personification of perfection to any career-minded man or woman. The piping look adds additional style and fashion without a lot of extra cost. There is nothing that will benefit you or your personification as positively as these exceptional medical trousers. Urbane scrubs jackets and sweaters, so much style and so much class. There are few people who would deny that sometimes, just sometimes, the medical or healthcare facility may be a rather cold environment to work within. Just a slight chill can significantly hamper an otherwise terrific work day. That's why you'll find Urbane scrubs jackets and sweaters are the perfect addition to any ensemble where an extra touch of warmth is needed. Many healthcare or medical providers will actually keep one or two of these locked away in the workplace for easy access should the need arise. In addition, these are great for any ensemble where a bit of extra style is needed or wanted. Urbane scrubs jackets and sweaters are simply amazing. They're warm, they're cool, they're classy, they're elegant. Who could possibly expect more from any medical apparel designer? Well, the simple fact is you do get more with every purchase. For example, the Essential Fleece Jacket is simply the most comfortable fit and feel you can have for any day. Yes, you know the material. This is the material you feel on those super soft blankets as you walk down a store. Maybe you've purchased a blanket or two, or perhaps you simply love the feel but haven't taken that big leap. With these Essential Fleece Jackets you get the feel and the warmth provided by fleece. So nice and toasty. The hoodie style is absolutely urbane. You get the sassy and classy look all at the same time. In addition, you'll be warm while looking genuinely hot. The array of colors make this something you can get in many colors, perfect for even more ensembles of your choosing. You've options. Why stop at the mundane? Of course, no talk of Urbane scrubs jackets and sweaters would be complete without mentioning the long line of lab coats. These lab coats are simply amazing. You get to choose the traditional button-up styles or go for something more and choose the zipper closure. The form-fitting style is perfect for the woman or man not wanting to hide away that attractive figure. The roomy pockets add extra versatility and functionality to the ensemble. Then there are the Y-pocket additions to the urbane scrubs jackets and sweaters. Y-pockets are extremely popular because they look great and fit even better. Plus you stay warm while looking your best. Get colors to match or contrast your choice of medical apparel for the day, week, or month. You need options. You expect the best. Then you will find there are a multitude of popular and reputable medical apparel designers willing to see your specific needs met. Cherokee, Barco, Dickies, Peaches, White Swan and Dilly are just a few of the other medical apparel designers wanting to see you get more than you want. But there is something special about Urbane. What's so special? The way you look, the way you feel when you wear this fashionable piece of clothing. There's something special that radiates from you when you feel better than you look. Your world illuminated positive karma when you get more than you expect. Urbane. UFO crashes in Mexico. During the summer of 1974, significant events were taking place. On August 5, Congress placed a monetary limit on aid to the military in Vietnam. On August 8, the scandal-ridden Nixon presidency ended with Richard Nixon offering his resignation. On August 9, he resigned and Gerald Ford became the 38th President of the United States. On August 15, the First Lady of South Korea was killed in an assassination attempt on her husband, President Park Chung-hee. On the night of August 25, an event of cataclysmic proportions occurred that few were aware of then. A UFO crashed in Mexico, resulting in the deaths of the Mexican soldiers who attempted to retrieve it. So much in the study of UFOs, ufology, and alien abductees, abductology, is forced by the nature of the beast to rely on the stories of eyewitness accounts. This can be a very good thing or a very bad thing depending on the credibility of the account, the witness, and if the story can be corroborated by additional witnesses. Mass daylight sightings by scores of people seem to offer the most credibility. These mass sighting events cannot be so easily debunked, although the mass hallucination label is resorted to when the absurd explanations that the observers saw the planet Venus, swamp gas, or weather balloons won't work for the ever insulting our intelligence federal government. This event took place in a little Mexican town not too far from the Mexican-American border. It's in the state of Chihuahua, in an area where many Mexican hunting enthusiasts love to hunt deer. The town is in the northern part of the state. It's so remote that it is not recorded on some maps. The town has about 2,500 people and has been described as a calm and peaceful place in which to live. It has no city archives #1 records history, but as in the days of old, oral tradition still reigns as the source of information. Realizing this and the bias involved, I believe it's still a story worth telling. On the night of August 25, 1974, the United States air system detected an object at 75,000 feet over the Gulf of Mexico and coming in at 2,500 miles per hour. It was believed that at this course and speed, it would come into U.S. airspace somewhere over Texas. As the U.S. authorities tracked this object, it began stepping down. This sort of maneuver marks a tracked object as something intelligently controlled rather than being some natural phenomena like a meteor. Whereas a meteor would have a somewhat curved trajectory, the tracked object leveled off first at 45,000 feet, then at 20,000 feet, staying at each step down level for 5 minutes and slowing down to 1,900 miles per hour. The slowing down of the object, the stepping down in the altitude, and the ultimate turning from entering Texas and into Mexico was a sign of an intelligently controlled aircraft. The U.S. authorities continued tracking the object until it went below the radar's range capacity. It was believed the craft either crashed or landed somewhere in the interior of Mexico in the state of Chihuahua. Almost an hour after losing radar contact with the craft, another report came in of a downed civilian plane that had originated from El Paso, Texas and was headed to Mexico City. The flight path, apparently according to the story, intersected with the path of the strange craft inbound from over the Gulf of Mexico. Hours later, the Mexican government issued a military response to find the downed civilian aircraft. They indeed found it in the Chihuahua Desert. However, about 2 miles from the destroyed small prop plane was another aircraft that didn't look as though it had terrestrial origins. The soldiers, it's alleged, found a slightly damaged disc-shaped craft. They radioed this information to their commanders, whereupon an order was issued for radio silence. However, someone was listening. The ever-noisy eavesdroppers of the Western world, the CIA, were having a little listen to the communications between the Mexican field soldiers and their field command. The U.S. scrambled a military response team and issued their usual and typical and help offer. This in CIA lingo really means "oh, can't we come and take total control" offer. The Mexican military, with no experience in recovering downed spaceships, refused the U.S. offer. Perhaps they ended up wishing they had, since the US had a clandestine reputation of dealing with this sort of crisis and Mexico did not. What would happen would be shocking and I'm sure unexpected on the part of the Mexican government. The CIA and whatever other intelligence groups were involved would not be left out of the loop. They must have aimed their super spook satellites on the recovery area and saw that there were 2 crashes and 2 recoveries. The disk was loaded onto a truck and a convoy headed back to base. However, later spying showed that the convoy had stopped suddenly in the desert. All radio traffic also came to a sudden halt. Spy photos showed not only that the trucks stopped in the desert but also that the truck doors were open and there were bodies on the desert floor outside the trucks. Some reports allege the Mexican government then requested help from the US military. Some say that the feds sent in the troops without a solicitation for help. I rather think it was the former. Dressed in gear indicating that the US was more than experienced and equipped to protect themselves, the American military did come into the scene. It's alleged they found all of the Mexican soldiers dead. Some still sitting in their vehicles. The UFO was carried away with a Sea Stallion, a helicopter used for carrying heavy loads via cables and straps. The remaining bodies of the Mexican soldiers, the crashed civilian prop plane debris and remaining convoy trucks were wired with explosives. The US military blew them up and let the evidence burn into the desert sand. The downed disk was whisked away to some undisclosed US location. The actual cause of death of the Mexican soldiers is not known and will of course never be known. There are no FAA documents recording the crash of the civilian plane. I'm sure the American spooks did what they do very well in cases like this: full erasure. Number 1 in the Mexican or American government will deny or confirm this event. This is also what governments do best in cases like this: full denial. In this case and the thousands of others, details will never come to light and we will never know the truth unless those in the know commit to what they should morally and ethically do in cases like this: full disclosure. We the people have the right to know. There are no FAA documents recording the crash of the civilian plane. I'm sure the American spooks did what they do very well in cases like this: full erasure. Number 1 in the Mexican or American government will deny or confirm this event. This is also what governments do best in cases like this: full denial. In this case and the thousands of others, details will never come to light and we will never know the truth unless those in the know commit to what they should morally and ethically do in cases like this: full disclosure. We the people have the right to know. Undercover Las Vegas wedding invitations operation unveiled. Vegas Wedlock is an online magazine dedicated to Las Vegas brides that provides Las Vegas wedding tips and tricks, but recently, they have revealed a secret kept undercover for months. Vegas Wedlock recently unveiled an additional website to sell massive amounts of Las Vegas-themed wedding invitations designed exclusively by professional graphic designers for the Las Vegas bride. The website will now be the largest retailer of Las Vegas-themed wedding invitations in the world. The invitations were secretly designed by professional graphic designers who were told not to leak the information about the new Las Vegas invitations to anyone. The new site www.vegaswedlockinvitations.com is easy to navigate and a user can quickly see the wide variety that Vegas Wedlock has available. With over 50 exclusive Las Vegas wedding invitations designed already, Vegas Wedlock's designers are creating more each month and will continue until they reach well over 1,000. Within the Las Vegas wedding invitations already designed, Vegas Wedlock has styles to satisfy any bride and groom's taste. They've informal, formal and contemporary invitations along with new collections that they call holiday and location. The location collection includes places that couples often get married in Las Vegas like the Bellagio, Mandalay Bay, the Venetian, and more. The holiday collection has holiday-dressed invitations with a Las Vegas touch as well. While Vegas Wedlock is the only organization in the world to sell these Las Vegas wedding invitations, they're willing to work with affiliates and help spread the Las Vegas-themed wedding invitations to other sites as well. We've seen a high demand for Las Vegas-themed wedding invitations and want the brides and grooms getting married in Las Vegas to find these invitations easily, without a lot of hassle, the publisher of Vegas Wedlock said. Urbane scrub t-shirts. Professional t-shirts never looked so good. As a professional, you expect everything around you to perform as perfectly as you do. Unfortunately, this may lead to many letdowns and disappointments. With Urbane scrub t-shirts, you may be surprised at how you get more out of a simply piece of medical apparel. Yes, these are the best medical t-shirts on the market today, and of course Urbane is proud of this distinction. Are you a nurse, doctor, nurse assistant, dental hygienist, veterinarian, or any other medical or healthcare provider? Then you probably understand the importance of look good, feeling better, and above all, being professional with everything you do. You demand your medical equipment to maintain this same sense of excellence, and of course this means your workwear better perform as promised. Your workwear needs to move with you, flex to your look, offer superior constriction, and much more. Urbane scrub t-shirts are all that and so much more. Do you prefer long-sleeved shirts or short-sleeved shirts for your work wear? No matter what your preference, you will find there is an option that is comfortable and professional just for you. Do you prefer black, white, blue, green, or any other popular color? Yes, you will also find there is a wide array of colors for you to choose from. Colors that are sometimes genuinely unique to this popular medical apparel designer. There are options. Sometimes all you have to do is keep looking. The great news is that you may just discover that Urbane offers you what you demand in professional work wear. Of course, there are more than a few reasons people who know choose this superior workwear designer. Construction. There is nothing weak or inferior about this construction. The very thread used to hem the seams is simply amazing. In addition, extra care is taken in every process of the design and development to ensure you get the best construction on the market today. Believe me, with so many high-quality medical apparel designers available today, being the best is no small feat. Fashionable choices. Maybe you are not entirely into looking fashionable, but there is no doubt that the better you look, the better you feel holds truth. You will carry yourself differently according to how well you think you look. This means you feel better. When you feel better, your clientele or patients are easily relieved of anxiety because you are breaking the ice. Hard to believe a simple blouse can do so much. Affordable solution. Many people may be surprised that you can purchase Urbane scrub t-shirts without spending an arm and a leg. These are affordable solutions to your medical apparel needs. No, these fashionable and comfortable designs are not cheap, but you are getting construction and quality that means you will not have to purchase the same piece of clothing again for a long time. Cost effective is the key. You demand the best, and Urbane offers you more with each t-shirt you purchase for your medical wardrobe. Trust is a grand concept, and this is one medical apparel design that will not disappoint. Don't leave before you press like button below and subscribe to this channel. As a subscriber, you will receive a new notifications every time a new video is uploaded. Good luck.